Recently, we've been receiving the news that Sadie Sink from Stranger Things is being cast to play a major role in MCU Spider-Man 4, and lots of people are currently speculating about which role she could possibly be playing. This is a Spider-Man movie, and now you got this redhead white actress in a Spider-Man movie. Who could she possibly be playing? So some people think that it could possibly be Mary Jane, the real Mary Jane, not Michelle Jones. And some people think that it could be Jean Grey from the X-Men, or this other mutant character called Firestar in this animated series called Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, which is a mutant with fire powers. And in this video, I want to talk about why I hope that it is the real Mary Jane. And for those who are against this idea, I know that lots of people would say that MCU already has an MJ, that being Zendaya. And even though the character's name is Michelle Jones, we learned in Spider-Man No Way Home that her full name is Michelle Jones Watson, which indicates that Zendaya's character is Mary Jane's variant in the MCU. But for me, who is more of a classic Spider-Man fan who grew up with the Raimi movies, I would very much prefer a more classic portrayal of Spider-Man's side characters. We have to take into consideration that MCU Spider-Man is already missing an Uncle Ben, that Uncle Ben's role is pretty much taken over by Aunt May during her death in Spider-Man No Way Home. And that means we are missing a lot of very important supporting characters for MCU Spidey. They race-swapped Flash Thompson in a way that you can tell they're never gonna make him Agent Venom. And we also found out that Oscorp does not exist in the MCU in Spider-Man No Way Home, which means that Tom Holland's Spider-Man is probably not gonna meet his own version of Norman Osborn or Harry Osborn. It is possible that Sadie Sink is playing Gwen Stacy. They have this past pattern of casting somebody who looks like Gwen Stacy to play Mary Jane, and cast somebody who looks like Mary Jane to play Gwen Stacy. But with Sadie Sink, I have yet to see her play a character with a vastly different hair color. She would have to dye her hair for this specific role. And the reason why I don't think that she would be playing Black Cat is because Black Cat is a very sexualized character. And Sadie Sink is only 22 years old. She still has this impression of being a kid because of her role in Stranger Things. I don't think that it is very possible for her to be playing this character, as well as the fact that she does not exactly have Black Cat's physique. I actually am not certain if they're ever going to bring Black Cat into Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies, because Tom Holland still feels like a kid to me. And I'm not sure they're going to have Tom Holland's Spider-Man interact with a more sexualized female character inside the Marvel movies. Lots of people are talking about whether they're bringing Sydney Sweeney into the Marvel Cinematic Universe to play Black Cat. And to me, she just doesn't feel like a family-friendly actress, you know what I'm saying? So if we take Mary Jane out of the equation, then the one character that she is most likely be playing is probably Firestar, but it is a very ambiguous character. I personally don't have any feelings towards this character. I don't really care if she's playing Firestar. And as for Jean Grey, it doesn't make too much sense for an X-Men, a very important X-Men, to be introduced in the Spider-Man movie. It would make more sense for her to be introduced in the new MCU X-Men movie. And according to this news from several news outlets, one of the major sources coming from this journalist called Jeff Snyder, it is highly possible that Sadie Sink will be playing the real Mary Jane Watson. And for those who said that Zendaya is already the original MJ, they would probably be thinking, how is that possible? That would mean that we already have two MJs. The first possibility is having Spider-Man 4 be set in a multiverse movie, and you will probably run into another multiverse variant of MJ that happens to be the real Mary Jane Watson. maybe it could be a Spider MJ, a Mary Jane that actually has Spider-Man's powers. A reason why I think that casting Sadie Sink to play Mary Jane is a wonderful choice is first, it solidifies Peter Parker's sacrifice by the end of Spider-Man No Way Home, and adds a strong finality to Peter Parker's teenage relationship with Michelle Jones Watson. And the second reason is because, like I said before, I am more of a classic Spider-Man fan, and to me, Mary Jane Watson is too important a character to be replaced by an ambiguous original character with just the same initials in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, especially under the condition that Uncle Ben did not play a very massive role inside Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies. And you could have Tom Holland's Spider-Man meet Sadie Sink's Mary Jane Watson and say something like, MJ, eh? You remind me of somebody else. So Michelle Jones Watson would be Peter Parker's teenage love, while Sadie Sink's Mary Jane Watson will be Peter Parker's adult love for life. So that's how you solve the problem. Another way to introduce Mary Jane Watson into the MCU without the multiverse shenanigans is to introduce Mary Jane as Michelle Jones Watson's half-sister. It means that they have the same father but different mothers, which is why both of them have the Watson last name. And it is merely a coincidence that both of them happen to have MJ as their initials. So it would also mean Peter Parker happened to be double-teamed by two sisters from the same family. And the last reason is that now that Tom Holland finally has Zendaya to himself for the rest of his life, just give us the real Mary Jane Watson in the MCU and everyone gets to be happy, I mean, you're actors. Kissing somebody who is not your husband or wife is kind of part of your job.